Is set to present proposal to the cabinet, that is the ministers, in discussion. Or in the proposal there is a proposal that members of parliament should elect the president, and there is also another one that the term for the women member of parliament should be extended to 2 terms, that is 10 years. Then lastly, which is the third one, is that term limit needs to be brought back. In this video, I'm going to talk about MPs electing the president. Welcome to Acoli TV. On the 23rd of June in the year 2024, I talked about MPs to be elected by, members of parliament to elect the president. In that proposal, it was revealed in several newspapers that it is coming from the NRM cadres. They're pushing that the district councillors and the members of parliament should be the only ones to elect the president. Now, this is something which is very serious, very, very concerning. A low blood, that is Norbert, is the one who is set to handle that matter, since it falls under his ministry. Many of the people, or many of the Acoli people, are saying that this could be another crucifixion or the slicing of blood in the mouth of Acoli. That proverb is always used when somebody is going to be used to do something, and there's a proverb that says that one frog has made the water source dirty. In other words, many people are saying that this can be another thing that will damage Acoli reputation, since most of the Acolis who are put in big positions are the ones who get to decide what is what, like the age limit. Instead of blaming other people, Owindolo was blamed. Even when you look at the election that passed, that is, Electoral Commission was not blamed, but instead Owindolo was blamed, because they ran to the judiciary, and then at the end of it all, they blame Owindolo. This makes the central Ugandans to continue disliking the Acoli people. But then, this is a very big misconception. You can't blame the Chief Justice, yet you have failed to blame the Electoral Commission simply because the person is your own. That one is sectarianism or nepotism. Now back to the topic. Let's start by looking at the merits. Are there advantages? Are there the good side? Because we want to speak from an independent point of view, not from the opposition side, not for the preposition side. Let's start by the merits. What are the advantages? The first one is it could act as a check and balance, not a natural check and balance. Natural check and balance means death. But this check and balance is in terms of qualifications. Parliament is most likely to ensure that the people who are going to contest as the president are people who are highly qualified, specifically on academic background and also as well on the ethical background. These would set factors into consideration like the morality, the behavior of the person, and also how high has the person qualified, and also consideration that if the parliament is really independent, they would choose somebody who is of academic excellence. Reduce populism. This could lead to the reduction in populism, where majority Ugandans decide on who should be their leader due to emotional appeal. Politicians in Uganda are very good at injecting emotions, and then the people just vote because of their emotions. This could be things like a vote out of sympathy, sympathy votes. There are a lot of people who pass through sympathy votes. Now this could be something that is leads to a reduction in populism, because the MPs would not look at the populism. They would instead focus at governance ability of a particular person or a particular candidate presenting himself to be elected. But the question is, can that mentality be in the August House of Uganda? Well, the third one is most likely to be a sad one for the opposition. That is increased stability. Somebody would be saying, oh, what is this guy saying that increased stability? What kind of stability would be increased? Well, what I mean is, the elected government is just most likely to enjoy full support from the parliament. The parliament will be a yes man thing or a yes woman thing. Because you know how system works. So that would lead to a little bit stability, because if you are elected once, you're most likely to be elected for so long. You know who a president is, and now you deal with only MPs. Now if you fail that election and you are the current president, it means you are dense. It is only the presidents who are of highly good art who would say, let me step down. But most of the presidents would serve to the full limit of their term limit. If the term limit is 10 years, they will serve for 10 years. If the term limit is 15 years, they will serve for 15 years. That would mean stability. But in the end, also, there will be the cost that we will pay, which we will look at in the demerits. Faster resolutions of the elections. This system can simplify electoral processes like problems of locomotions, coordination, communication, and technological errors. Now, one of the weakest points of Uganda is in ICT. That's why the policies that they even implement, like blocking Facebook, are not done out of proper research. We're going to talk about that one in another video. Now, you realize that this system will help reduce the cost, the spending, the expenditure on the protection of the votes, on all the things that are needed for the votes to take place. So that is one merit of this system. The last merit is focused on the local representation. The local natives will focus at electing the members of parliament who will present their interest, while the responsibility of electing the president will rely on only the experienced lawmakers, that is members of parliament. Now this means the blames of electing bad leaders will also shift away from the majority population to only the august house, that is the members of parliament. So if they elect stupid leaders, a so stupid president, it will mean they're the ones. That is another thing. The first demerit is reduced democratic representation. This is too obvious. If the members of parliament are the only ones to elect, that would mean there's no democracy. There is no democracy. That is the total deletion, technically, of democracy. The majority people will not have their voice on the decision of who is the president. So that would mean the future of the country rests on the soldiers of the parliament, who are always, in the case of Uganda, too easy to influence with money. The second one is potential for corruption. Electing members of parliament basing on the interest of the electing the president based on the interest of the members of parliament can easily lead to corruption. Lobbying, underground discussion can easily happen. We have seen what is called NRM caucus being the center of decision for most policies in Uganda. And NRM caucus is not live. It is done closed doors. The public only gets to know when things are being decided or when rumors are coming out. But in the real sense, most of the things are not brought to light to the people. So corruption will enter. MPs will be heavily bribed by the people who are contesting as president. Lack of legitimacy. Lack of legitimacy is the third demerit, and this can happen especially when the votes from the members of parliament to the president elected does not represent the majority interest of the citizens. Now, this would mean the citizens, first of all, would lose total interest in the governance. And another loss of legitimacy will come because there will be no trust in the government elected in the interest of the members of parliament without the representation of the interest of the majority citizens. These are facts. The fourth one is severe partisan politics or conflict. If the elected president does not represent the interest of the majority members of parliament, then, say for example, the president comes out with 50% or 50 to 60 within that, that one means almost half of the people in the house were not supporting you. And that means if it is the party members who are the ones, say for example, opposition decides not to do that, and in that number, that would mean a total conflict in the August House. But then, the good thing about Uganda is majority are yellow. So, partisan conflict would mean nothing. There is risk of allied domination. The majority citizens would face challenge on representing their interest. It is the allies who would lobby for their preferred president as a candidate to be elected. Established political elites would be the ones to influence the members of parliament to elect, because the farmer down there will not have the voice there. But also this is what comes, the cost that comes. The political elites will have their life also hunted. The political elites will have the presidents, the presidential candidates looking at them. The presidential candidates will focus their campaigns to the political elites and the members of parliament. I don't know whether it is the MPs who will elect the president first, or the president, or the MPs who should be elected before the president is elected, or after, how many MPs to elect the president after the election of the MPs have been concluded. This is something which is not yet out. We are going to follow it closely. Let's go to the last one. Before we get to the last one, let's remember what Odonga said. Odonga took to his Hex account and said, if MPs are to elect the members of, if MPs are to elect the president, then 2026 will be a do or die to become the member of parliament. But being in opposition will be death. The sixth one, which is the last one, I believe it is also a big worry to the people who are pushing for this thing, to the people who are pushing forward for MPs to be the ones to elect the president. I think this is serious. That is number 6, which is the last one. That is the death of a proper guard to foreign influence. That is, it's a fake foreign policy. May I ask you to subscribe so that you keep getting. You'll be among the first people to get. That's the benefit of subscribing to you. You'll be among the first people to watch the video. If countries who have interest in your country, the countries who have interest, say in Uganda, really want to influence your election and have their choice, have their interest elected as the president, and they are powerful countries like Russia, like United States of America, like the great colonialist United Kingdom, like Egypt, like Israel, or most of the European countries, let me say that, like China, they want their president elected. It's very easy for them now to do it. For example, America does not need to pull the real figure from their currency. America prints their own money, so they can print and give it. They print the dollars and give it to those members of parliament. For you in Uganda, you're bribing them with 1 billion. They will be bribed in terms of $1 million. Vote this one, vote this one, vote this one, vote this one, vote this one. You realize they will be promised security, they will be promised investment outside, protection, everything. Unless it is to be reached by the internal authority, it can be influenced by foreigners. That is a very stupid approach in foreign policy. Thank you so much. We will still digest more into this Norbert proposal. Thank you.